Hi everyone, as another month almost ends, we already got some great new releases as well as some full releases in January, and let me tell you, there are lots of different vibes on this list. Doesn't matter if you are into city building, dungeon crawling, pixel art adventures or metroidvanias, there is something for everyone on this list. Like seriously, we have an amazing mix of everything. In just a second I will show you the best reviewed games of January listed based on Steam reviews. So yeah, grab your snacks and drinks and let me show you what we've got in store. Let's start the list with a game that I was really looking forward to. Tales of Iron 2 Whiskers of Winter, with a mostly positive score of 79% positive reviews, is a sequel to the very well known and great Tales of Iron, which I also recommended in one of my previous winter sales videos. We, as Arlo, an heir to the Warden of the Wastes, will adventure through harsh northern lands in an epic quest to overcome an ancient evil. This title is your old good Tales of Iron, but with new mobs, new lands, new items and a new adventure. As always, you will have to learn how to fight. The combat is brutal, full of action and really challenging. Discover new lands and a brand new story, overcome savage bosses, customize your playstyle with a wide variety of weapons such as swords, shields, axes and even spears, encounter curious companions, construct and upgrade your own settlement, and so much more. This had the potential to be one of the best games of this year. Now the game have some issues that need to be fixed, and then we will see how it will turn out in the end. Now something unique. Mage, with a very positive score of 93% positive reviews, is a simple yet great and relaxing 2D resource gatherer and building game. Even though it looks really simple, this title is cheap as hell and is one of the best relaxing experiences. The pixel art looks amazing, and if you're into clickers, incremental games, then hear me out. You are an apprentice to the famous Mage and you have been teleported to a remote island by an accident. Now you will gather nearby resources, trade and build a portal to get back home. To do so, you have to make a lot of upgrades, not only to your buildings, but also to your powers to finally get back home. Don't worry, this game is somewhat easy to handle, so you don't have to think a lot. Aloft is yet another, let's say, cozy game, with a very positive score of 84% positive reviews. This is a co-op sandbox survival set in a world of floating islands. Yes, and that is something that I really like. We will build any skyland into a skyship and make it our home in the clouds. We will explore the world, find lost knowledge, cure the fungal corruption and brave the hurricane to restore the ecosystem. This looks like a great adventure. The skies provide everything we need. We will cook delicious meals, gather resources to craft tools and explore the world to find new technology. We will use winds to create automated processes and production, collect seeds and plant various crops, care for animals and protect a living ecosystem. We have to find and cure islands from corruption by defeating mushroom creatures, crafting antidotes to save animals, and restoring lands to a state of harmony. In exchange, we will gain access to new special resources. This title looks like a good, cozy adventure full of crafting, automation, and cute animals. This one is one of the most interesting titles on the list, and I think it deserves a lot more recognition. Beyond Citadel, with an overwhelmingly positive score of 96% positive reviews, is a boomer shooter with a classical vibe. This is actually a sequel to The Citadel, a game made a few years ago. This is one of the most unique and creative shooters you will play, and trust me, you will feel great playing this if you are more into tactical shooters. Yes, of course, this is a fast-paced game, but it also makes you play a bit slower sometimes, especially at the beginning, to get used to the mechanics and controls, and the gunplay. Shooting in this game feels actually good. Also, there is a lot of realism in the gun mechanics, like reloading for example. It is not as simple as clicking R and waiting for an animation to end. It actually is a bit more complicated. To be honest, it sometimes feels a little unnecessary, especially if you're into the heat of battle, but I guess you can get used to it. Anyways, this game is great. It has an interesting story about the survival of humanity and really good mechanics. Your favorite genre, Hordes of Hel, with a very positive score of 92% and over 2,500 reviews, is an action roguelike horde survival game set in the dark realms of Norse mythology. There is not much to say about games like this anymore, as Vampire Survivors has shown how these games work and each one isn't really reinventing the wheel. It's just you, your character, hordes of enemies and upgrades you choose from time to time. Your goal is to survive as long as you can, progress through levels, defeat bosses and create interesting builds. This title has great graphics and animations, a few characters to choose from, skills to pick up, God's blessing, some missions for each run and so on. It's a good game if you are into Vampire Survivors like games, and there is also a demo available to play before you buy the game, so yeah, give it a try. Another game with a very positive score of 86% positive reviews. Heroes of Hammerwatch II is a title you probably already know or recognize. This is the second installment to the already great Heroes of Hammerwatch, and no, Hammerwatch and Heroes of Hammerwatch are not the same games. Of course, they are similar but not identical. This is a pixel art roguelite action-adventure with an extensive progression system. You will build your own town, upgrade and equip your heroes and battle hordes of enemies. Unlike most roguelites, you won't lose your levels, equipment or upgrades across runs. It's essentially the same great game, but expanded and enhanced with better graphics. Yeah, this game is just like the first game, but second, like, yeah, you know what I mean. Now, a game that I stumbled across by accident, and I'm glad I did. FlyKnight is a dungeon crawler that you can play solo or with friends, with an overwhelmingly positive score of 96%. It is an old-school inspired game, very similar aesthetically to RuneScape and gameplay-wise to Barony. You will explore dungeons, arm yourself with an arsenal of weapons, loot and fight enemies. That's basically what this game has to offer. It is pretty short, unfortunately, but it is really good. It is a fantastic title with great mechanics like simple fishing and a more complex limb-based combat system, items you will slowly learn how to use, great level design and so much more. Also, this game is cheap as hell and it stole the hearts of many players, including myself. I think it is one of the best games on this list and I highly recommend trying it if you like dungeon crawlers. Age of Darkness is a game that was available earlier, but it was finally fully released in mid-January, adding more characters to play and so on. It's the first game on the list with a few more thousand reviews, over 8k to be exact, with a mostly positive score of 77% positive reviews. It is a title very similar to the well-known Night Horde survival games from a few years back, like the Billions or The Last Spell, which I particularly love. Yeah, it is similar and I will tell you why. Your job is of course to defend humanity against hordes of nightmares. You will light up the fog full of monsters, claim territories and fight back hordes of said nightmares. To do so, you will build a settlement and establish an economy, then create defenses and an army to scout the area and fight your opponents by day and defend yourself at night. You are able to choose a hero that will grant special bonuses and abilities to help you on your quest. You will also earn blessings that will help you in your future runs and many more. This game is not easy, but it is good, really good to be honest. So if you like this kind of gameplay, then I can recommend it to you. Slowly getting to the end, and one of the most and best reviewed games of January is Magnolia with almost 10,000 reviews and an overwhelmingly positive score of 95%. This is yet another game that we were able to play prior to its official release date, as it went into a finished state as of January 22nd. This is your typical Metroidvania experience with a very interesting visual style and dark fantasy world. Not much to say apart from the great visual style and interesting story about humans and homunculi, wrapped in a very dark and grim fantasy setting. Apart from that, you've got your typical Metroidvania elements, lots of unique skills and equipment to collect and upgrade, challenging difficulty levels, and an amazing soundtrack. And before we jump to spot number 1, I've prepared 5 additional games as honorable mentions. And for spot number 1 we have Foundation, a game that was released a few years ago but finally got fully released on the last day of January. Before we jump to the game, I would like to hear your opinion. Should I cover games that were already available to play but got fully released, or would you prefer to see only newly released and best reviewed indies? Tell me in the comments. Now about Foundation. It has almost 17,000 reviews, 85% of which are positive, giving it a very positive score. It is an economical colony builder, something like Banished, the closest game I can think of. Your job is to build your city at your own pace. Foundation offers a gridless building mechanic, organic development, production chains, and some deep mechanics like taxes, trading, and politics. This is actually a very relaxing and cozy game, and the gridless building is something I'm always happy about. Try it for yourself. There is a demo available so you can play it a little before you buy it. And that's everything I prepared for you today. I hope you liked this video and maybe found some great new games to play. Remember to leave a like, subscribe, and tell me in the comments which game you are going to play. Thank you all for watching, and I'll see you later this week. Bye.